Today is payday.
And here's how they'll line up. It's Craig Lowndes from pole position. In the Ford, alongside him Stephen Johnson. Then Russell Ingall, the first of the Holdens, alongside him from Holden Racing Team. Points leader Mark Skaife. Then Stephen Ellery, terrific job to get into the top 5. Garth Tander, a tough day at the office. Jason Bright in the wars in the remaining laps yesterday.
Good fight back from John Bowe as well. Jason Bargwanna, we just spoke to him earlier. He sneaked inside the top 10. Great effort too from Dean Canto, the Konica champion. He's doing well on the streets of Adelaide. Larkham, Faulkner got caught up with that terrible incident with the hose yesterday. Fortunately, everyone got away relatively unscathed. Stephen Richards rounds out the top 16.
Larry Perkins, quiet day for him. Anthony Tratt involved in that melee at turn 4 on the opening lap. Dougal McDougal, Tyler Mecklem, Trevor Ashby, Angus Fogg, Greg Ritter and Ross Halliday, 24.
Unbelievable atmosphere here as the crowd really rev it up. We're only moments away from the start of the formation lap. Brad Jones, Paul Will, Paul Radisich. Look where the Rat starts now. 29th, had a brilliant start to the race yesterday, had enormous race speed, but ended up trashing the car toward the end. He retired early.
Rodney Forbes with brake problems yesterday and then a gearbox selection drama late in the race. Gary Holt, Alan Heath, Marcus Ambrose. Remember that incident on pit lane or against the pit lane wall. Watch for him in this race. He'll be coming out of 36. You've got people like Seaton, Radisich, Murphy and Ambrose at the back of the pack. There's Alan Heath. He'll be coming out of pit lane. Won't be taking his spot on the grid.
Tough luck for the South Australian driver in front of his home crowd, but boy oh boy, we've seen this race so many times before. We've had 5 250k races here over 3 years, and in 2 of those the winner has come from the back of the grid. It's both been done by Holden Racing Team Commodores, one by Craig Lowndes the first time around. Mark Skaife repeated it in 2000. Some
of the big incidents yesterday, there was a coming together between Ambrose and Kelly. I talked about that a moment ago, and it pitched Ambrose against the wall just underneath the starter's flag there. Tander got involved with Kelly, Radisich and Skaife. We talked about that earlier. Jason Bright and Glenn Seaton, Stephen Richards and Todd Kelly. Of course, there was the overshoot in the pit lane with Greg Murphy. He missed his pit on the first crucial pit stop and had to go around again as we go on board with Mark Skaife. And then the Greg Murphy steering failure, which was catastrophic and could have been a lot worse for him.
We've got every angle covered here. Enormous number of Channel 10 cameras throughout the field. Here's Russell Ingall carrying the Monroe in-car camera. A number of different views from each of the cars. And there's Craig Lowndes, winner yesterday. What a phenomenal effort by the Gibson Motorsport team. And this young man, he's won 4 out of the 5 races held on the streets of Adelaide. What an incredible record. This man too, what an outstanding effort. Leapt up for 15th or 16th in qualifying, managed to finish 5th. So the Super Cheap Autos team putting in an outstanding performance. That's put Stephen right up near the pointy end of the grid. Cars weaving backwards and forwards, trying to generate some heat, temperature into their tyres, get them up to the right temperature and the right pressure.
Shell Helix camera on board Paul Radisich's car, one of 4 camera views that we have. We looked at him to the left of the driver's side, now out through the windscreen. We've got a 360-degree panning shot and a bumper shot. And if yesterday's any indication, that'll be a busy set of cameras. And there's Greg Murphy, the man that started from pole position, had a pretty tough day yesterday. Around about 80 or 90 degrees, and here's the Ford race analysis on this Adelaide Street circuit. 78 laps, depending on pace cars, somewhere between probably an hour 45 and 2 hours of racing. 38 starters, compulsory pit stops for tyres and for fuel, and they can only be taken when a pit window that's theoretically open between laps 16 and 57. And last year's winner was Mark Skaife. Yesterday's winner was Craig Lowndes.
Mark Skaife's got his eyes on the big prize here today. He knows that this is the double points race. He knows that he's managed to survive quite a controversial incident yesterday, coming together between himself and Paul Radisich. Dropped him right back down through the field. He managed to fight his way back, and now he's up to 4th, and he knows that today is payday. 360 points on offer for the winner, and of course the winner of today's race is declared the winner of the Clipsal 500.
And a lot of discussion about that incident between those two. Of course, the Shell guys are saying, well, Skaife was holding us up so badly and just needed to be dispatched, and of course the Holden guy saying that ain't no way to pass a car. So depending on which camp you support, everybody will have their point of view on that one.
I think it was a good call on behalf of Cams, actually, because Mark was really making it difficult, wasn't he? And at the end of the day, you know, there was no penalty to either, so I think it was a good call.
Well, one of our competitors who are stuck in pit lane is Alan Heath. He's one of the Konica V8 supercar drivers, one of several joining the cars for the race here today. He went out to join the cars on the grid and smacked the wall while on cold tyres. He then had to come in and fix some panel damage and close the door with some gaffer tape. So tough start to the day.
Neil, how sore are some of these drivers going to be? You've done this race yourself. You've done 250Ks, slogging it out on Saturday. You've come back here Sunday. A lot of these drivers must be feeling the pain.
Absolutely no question. In some ways, it's easier mentally the second day. You've been through it. You know what to expect. You kind of blew off that early race nervy thing, that tension, but physically it's tough. Your hands hurt. You have blisters on your hands and your feet. Your lower back hurts. Shell Championship Round 2, Race 2, the Clipsal 500. That's Stephen Johnson looking out the left side of the Craig Lowndes Falcon.
Watch the chicane the first time. I think it's going to be fun and games.
Set for a start. Racing. The Clipsal 500 is go. Craig Lowndes makes a blinder. Skate goes up on the outside of Radisich. Thunder towards the first chicane. Lowndes, Skate, straight across the chicane. So does Ingle. Ellery goes berserk across there as well, as they head up to this crucial braking area at Wakefield Street.
Gee, I was surprised that Lowndes got away so well. He had a lot of smoke pouring out of those rear tyres. He really got the power down, but he must have got good bite because he managed to beat the rest of them into that turn one.
Oh, it's brilliant. I mean, to get that amount of lead in the first half a minute of the race is brilliant.
This is going to be the interesting thing, these opening laps. We've seen Craig Lowndes do it before, particularly on cold tyres. He's brilliant on the cold rubber, and if he can open up a bit of a buffer now, he's going to try and do it. Big field here as they thunder down Bartels Road for the first time.
Remember, it was Skate that was quick on cold rubber at Phillip Island. Look at this between Tander and Ingle battling for position into turn 9. Appears to have been a cleaner start to events compared to yesterday's race. Tander on the menacing run down the inside.
Oh, there's Ellery!
Bang into the back of Tander, turns him around.
Oh,
nose to tail. Bow goes in, Larkham goes in, Dean Caddo's in there.
I think Ronnie Forbes is another car in there too.
Glenn, yeah. Oh, dear.
Larko's got a lot of damage. Bow's got a lot of damage. He's out of business.
We saw Enferendas here yesterday.
Well, that was never on.
Stephen Ellery just came from a mile back.
Never on.
And he's paid the penalty. Oh, we've got problems here for Jason Bright. He must have got caught up in that tangle as well. He's got smoke belching from the left front tyre and body damage as well as he swings it into the Holden Racing team.
So it's going to be guard repair, front splitter off and replaced, and hopefully no geometry damage to the front suspension, but that's going to cost time. Expect that to be a good minute or more.
The racing team working feverishly away. They've got the slide hammer there. It's a large weight on a pole. They slide that back and it helps drag the sheet metal away from the damaged tyre.
They're opting to leave the fiberglass in play. Well, no, they're not. They're ripping some of it out of the way.
Look at this. I mean, I don't know whether there was a coming together between him and between Ellery and Barguana, maybe. It's slightly.
You need to see it again from earlier on. Great presence of mind from Barguana there at one stage. I just saw him jump out of the way. It could have been a worse situation for him.
Have a look. No.
Now watch the Jason Bright sneak around on the inside here. This is where he did the damage to that left there. Just when he went over the curve there, that damaged his left wheel.
Just watch this, guys. Ellery down the inside. Dirty track, hard to pull up. Bang, tags. That's pretty straightforward.
Now watch Bright. Oh, you can't see him. He goes under the tree there, but that's where he clipped his left front wheel and did all the damage to the car.
Look at that lead.
So Lowndes really putting the pressure on straight away. 1.7 seconds was the gap.
He's gone.
Let's see what it's this time as he comes across. He's probably pumped it out a little bit more. 2.6 seconds now. So Lowndes, as we've seen so many times, when he gets a clear bit of track in front of him, he is absolutely dynamite. Mark Skaife in second, Stephen Johnson in third, Russell Ingall in the Castrol Commodore. Big challenge by Johnson on the inside. Skaife gives him racing room.
Skaife would be a little bit concerned when he sees a Shell car come up the inside into Wakefield Street. You'd be like, well, okay, you take it.
That was good from Stephen, though, wasn't it?
Really, excellent move. He had good car speed out of the chicane. Actually, Skaife under attack now from Russell Ingall.
Oh, now Skaife's giving him room as well. Skaife knows. Now he's using his head here. He's looking at this situation and saying, well, I don't want to get involved in this. Everyone's all pumped up. He's going to give him a little bit of racing room and let the race settle down because we've got a long, long way to go. And we've got a safety car on the track.
Full course yellow. Now, this is the situation that Lowndes, for example, is going to hate. He's used a lot of car to make that margin into the brakes, working the tyres. Now you lose all that, and it's all gone for nothing.
You have to say in a situation like this, the nature of the race, you think, oh, look at that.
Bryce, they're trying to keep him up, trying to get him up
Keep him on the lead lap is what they want to do.
Keep him on the lead lap. Keep in mind, under these regulations with the Clipsal 500, you are not allowed to pit under safety car conditions. So what they're going to try and do is try and get Bridie as close as they can to the leading bunch before they go back to green to minimise the amount of track position he's going to lose.
It's almost better in a race like this to try and stay in touch for the first sort of 10 or 15, and you know, to get it under your belt and get everything hot. And
Shell Helix replay
struggling
shows where all that bodywork and fiberglass is making contact with the front left tyre. Jason Bright's car, it's up at turn 4 at the end of Wakefield Street. And you can see once it body loads onto the front left-hand corner, it really rubs badly.
It's just such a shame you can be in the right place at the wrong time, and it's what you get. Poor old Craig's done a lot of hard work, and as you say, he's used up a lot of car, and then...
Well, safety car,
fastest man on the track so far with a 1:27.5. Here's the situation while we have the safety car out. Lowndes, Johnson, Ingles, Skate, Bargwanna, Morris, Richards, Longhurst.
And the top 10 is rounded up by Larry Perkins and John Faulkner. Well, the safety cars have come out early on the Clipsal 500. More after this.
This is why the safety car is out after lap 4. A major tangle after Steve Ellery came together with Garth Tander. That's caused a few problems for the Holden Racing team. Jason Bright's been into the pits twice now for repairs, but John Bowe in bigger trouble as we go back to racing action.
Lowndes resumes where he left off at the top of the order. Johnson tucked in behind. Now, can Craig maintain this pace? He's the fastest man so far with a 1:27.5. He was about 5 or 6 tenths quicker than his nearest rivals in the opening couple of laps.
Now, we'll just clarify this situation for you at home about not being able to pit under yellow flags. That only applies to their 2 compulsory pit stops. In terms of that damage that Jason Bright's picked up, the team was able to bring him in under safety car to make further repairs to that front guard. It looks like they've managed to fix it now. And as a result of the safety car, it's allowed Jason not to lose too much track time. So he's fighting his way back from the rear of the field.
Just had a look at that replay as we came out of the ad break there. Les Laidlaw, team boss for Cat Racing. Some disappointed faces down here.
Very much so. Cat car was really good yesterday. We're really looking forward to today, and just getting caught up in someone else's stupidity is just really disappointing for the whole team.
You've had a word to JB. You can't fire the car up. Do you know why?
It's obviously damaged something on the front of the engine around the distributor or something like that. It's just no spark, and I've towed it around the back, so that's it. We're out for the day.
Hard luck, mate.
Thanks.
Paul Morris getting a bit of a short back and sides through the hairpin there.
Oh, look at this.
Rodney Forbes and Cameron McConville in the wall. Lap 6 of 78. What's all that about?
Could this be another safety car, I wonder?
I wouldn't mind betting.
Safety car flags are out, so we'll go back to controlled intervention of the race. This is an unusual looking position. I can't even quite work out where it is. We'll take a look at the Shell Helix replay.
Now they're battling over.
It's already happened by this stage, has it?
Yeah.
Well and truly. So that's...
Look at the left front on Forbes' thing. He's got no steering now.
Just about squeezes the Team Kiwi Commodore out.
Yeah, up at turn 5, it's the area where, for example, Glenn Seaton and Jason Bright came unglued late in yesterday's race. But that's happened just slightly prior to that. Cameron McConville out of the car. And we've marked the crash zone there for you. Yes. That complex up near East Terrace.
Disappointment for the Lansvale Racing team. Their debut of a VX Commodore. Oh, David Bernard in trouble as well.
Shocker weekend for him.
He is
sick. You know, had a difficult qualifying. Had a real tough race yesterday. Struggled out of contention, and now something sidelined him as well. This is an amazing start. You know, for quite a long proportion of the race yesterday, it looked as though we may have got away without safety car intervention.
Now we've had 2 very early on, only lap 7 of 78. This is going to be a long, hard afternoon if the safety car has to work as hard as it's doing right now.
And reinforce the point that this is a race that's determined by the laps. It's a 78-lap race. It's not a timed race. So Rodney Forbes climbs out of his stricken Falcon. Safety car is on the circuit. We'll be back with more of the Clipsal 500 in just a moment.